I uncovered some of the darkest theories hidden in our childhood cartoons. If you think cartoons are innocent, watch till the end. From the very beginning, we have Peppa Pig. You've watched Peppa Pig thinking it's just a sweet, harmless cartoon about a pig family living happily together. But what if I told you there's something seriously off about George? What if I told you that Peppa's little brother was never actually a pig at all? Because once you see this, you can't unsee it. Every character in Peppa Pig follows a simple, clear pattern. Danny Dog is a dog. Susie Sheep is a sheep. Freddy Fox is a fox. Peppa Pig is, of course, a pig. But George Pig? It doesn't quite fit, does it? But it fits perfectly if we call him George Guinea Pig. Now here's where it gets dark. What if George isn't a pig at all, but a hairless guinea pig adopted by Mummy Pig and Daddy Pig after something tragic happened to their real baby? Think about it. Guinea Pig, George, both start with the letter G. And baby guinea pigs? They're tiny, pink, hairless, and look exactly like newborn piglets. But there's more. Some people might argue, but Mummy Pig was pregnant with George in the show. Maybe, but what if that baby didn't make it? What if, in their grief, Mummy and Daddy Pig decided to adopt a baby guinea pig to fill the hole left in their hearts? And Peppa, being too young, simply grew up believing George was her real brother, never knowing the truth. Now let's look at George's size. He's much smaller than a typical piglet, and his nose. Peppa and other pigs in the show have flat, round snouts typical of cartoon pigs, while George's nose is oddly rounded and small, more like a guinea pig's nose than a pig's. And now, let's talk about the sound George makes. Peppa introduces him as, "This is my little brother George." But listen closely to the sounds George makes throughout the series.
I'm Peppa Pig. This is my little brother George.
You'll hear squeaks, not oinks. Real guinea pigs make those squeaking noises while pigs grunt or oink. These aren't random sounds. They're signs. Then there's George's behavior. He's unusually attached to Mr. Dinosaur, carrying it everywhere. He's quieter, often seems lost in his own world, and struggles to fit in with the family's typical pig activities. He often plays alone. Even in a cartoon, it feels like George is different, like he's trying to keep up with a family that isn't truly his. But the family? They never mention these differences. They pretend everything is normal, shielding Peppa from the truth while raising George with love as their own. If you think about it, it's actually heartbreaking. Behind the cheerful colors and the happy music of Peppa Pig might be a story of loss, adoption, and pretending everything is okay to protect a child's innocence. The perfect family might be hiding the pain of losing a child, and George's presence is a quiet reminder of the grief they're trying to heal from while giving George a loving home, even if he isn't truly one of them. So the next time you see George happily playing with Peppa, remember, those aren't oinks. Those squeaks aren't random. And George might not be a pig at all. He might be a guinea pig, adopted into a family too broken to admit the truth. You've always felt something was off about Mr. Bean, haven't you? He doesn't talk like us. He doesn't act like us. And in the opening scene of every episode, he literally falls from the sky in a beam of light, and nobody around him questions it. We all thought it was just comedy. But what if it was never meant to be funny? What if Mr. Bean isn't even human? It all starts with Season 3, Episode 18. Mr. Bean steps out of a shop and sees his green Mini Cooper parked outside. Same scratches, same dents, everything. Then, out of the shop steps himself. Not a lookalike, not a doppelganger, a perfect copy. And this isn't like that other episode where a lookalike prisoner swaps places with him to escape jail, only to voluntarily return because the outside world was too cruel. No, this is different. Mr. Bean panics silently as he does and follows the clone. He notices they have the same tie, same pocket square, even the same polka dot underwear. And yes, both carry their teddy bears. Then it gets even weirder. The clone meets Mr. Bean's girlfriend and starts flirting like an alien mimicking human behavior. And somehow it works. Minutes later, she's with the clone, driving off, leaving Mr. Bean in disbelief. He tails them, worried, until he sees something that blows his mind. A UFO landing, opening its hatch, and the clone driving straight in as if it's normal. Inside, there are rows and rows of Mr. Beans. Dozens, maybe hundreds, each holding their teddy bears, watching him like they've been waiting. That's when it hits him. Mr. Bean isn't special. He's not quirky. He's not even original. He's just one of many. And right as he's about to process this horrifying truth, the clone ejects him from the ship, not because he's a threat, but because the clone feels bad seeing the girlfriend crying outside. The UFO leaves and Mr. Bean is left alone on Earth, staring at the sky, confused and empty. You might think, but we've seen Mr. Bean as a child, so he's human, right? Nope. That makes it even stranger. In Season 2, Episode 4, we see a 6-year-old Mr. Bean driving a Mini Cooper made out of cardboard. Sounds cute, until you remember Mr. Bean was born in 1955 and the Mini didn't exist until 1977. How does a kid from the 50s build a perfect replica of a future car? Because it's not just a car, it's part of his species. Remember how the UFO was filled with green minis? That car isn't an English invention. It's alien technology. And in that same episode, aliens wiped his girlfriend's memory like it was nothing. So what's stopping them from wiping his memory too? Now let's talk about how Mr. Bean moves, speaks, and defies physics. His speech isn't mumbling, it's corrupted code. He talks without purpose, like a glitch trying to sound human. He breaks the laws of physics without consequences. And here's the smoking gun. In Mr. Bean's Holiday, we see his passport. His first name? MR. That's not a name. That's an alien filling out paperwork thinking Mr. is a first name. And Rowan Atkinson, the creator of Mr. Bean, confirmed this idea in 1993. He once described a final episode idea where Mr. Bean drives into a field to see a spaceship and dozens of Mr. Beans walk out to greet him. They shake hands, say hello, and then all board the spaceship together before it flies away, implying Mr. Bean was never from Earth. Rowan said, "There is this idea that he may not be of our world. He may be from another place." So next time you watch Mr. Bean stumbling around smiling at the camera, remember, he's not just a weird guy in a suit. He's not human. He's an alien clone, living among us, mimicking us, reporting back to whoever sent him here. You grew up thinking Mickey Mouse was just the happiest cartoon character around, smiling, laughing, dancing with his friends. But what if I told you that the joyful world of Mickey isn't what it seems at all? This theory suggests something far darker, that Mickey's friends, Donald, Goofy, Minnie, Daisy, Pluto, are actually gone, and what you're watching is just Mickey's broken mind struggling to cope with that unbearable loss. Think about it for a moment. Mickey is always smiling. There's never a genuine moment of sadness, no real breakdowns, no raw emotions. To many on Reddit and other fan communities, this isn't happiness, it's denial. Mickey is caught in a never-ending fantasy, replaying a world where his friends still exist. It's a fragile mental bubble he can't or won't pop. Now, take a closer look at Mickey's clubhouse. Notice how perfect it is. The bright, almost artificial colors, the repetitive, almost mechanical songs. The logic of every episode feels rigid and predictable. It's less like a cozy home and more like a carefully constructed simulation. A safe place Mickey created in his mind to shelter himself from the pain outside. Imagine this clubhouse as a kind of mental hospital or sanctuary where Mickey lives in denial, endlessly replaying the same scenarios to maintain his fragile sense of normalcy. And then there's Toodles, the seemingly magical little helper who always appears with exactly the tools Mickey needs to solve his problems. On the surface, Toodles seems cute, even helpful. But what if Toodles is actually a manifestation of Mickey's subconscious, a coping mechanism his mind created to fix problems and keep the fantasy going? Whenever something threatens to break Mickey's illusion, Toodles appears with the perfect solution, allowing Mickey to avoid facing the harsh realities of his loss. This is no harmless cartoon device. It's a sign of a mind desperately trying to hold itself together. Think about Pete, the never-ending villain in Mickey's world. Why is Pete always the enemy? This theory suggests Pete might be much more than a simple antagonist. Some believe Pete was responsible for the accident that took Mickey's friends away. To protect himself from the unbearable truth and guilt, Mickey's mind cast Pete as the permanent villain, endlessly blaming him to keep some form of justice in the shattered fantasy. Pete becomes a symbol for everything that went wrong, a way for Mickey to channel his pain without facing the full horror. And what about the famous hot dog dance? At first glance, it's just a silly celebration. But maybe it's something deeper, a ritual Mickey uses to stay sane. The dance is repeated over and over, almost compulsively, as if performing it keeps the cracks in Mickey's mind from widening. It's a desperate attempt to inject joy and normalcy into a world that has been fractured by loss and grief. So, next time you see Mickey Mouse smiling brightly, dancing with Toodles, and facing off against Pete, remember, this isn't just a cartoon character having fun. This is a mind desperately holding on to memories, masking pain, and trying to survive. What do you think? Does this theory change the way you see Mickey Mouse? Let's talk about Finding Nemo now. A father's desperate journey across the ocean to find his missing son. A story about love, adventure, and overcoming fear. But there's something about that opening scene that doesn't add up. The movie begins with a brutal moment. A barracuda attacks, leaving Marlin unconscious, and when he wakes up, his wife Coral and all the eggs are gone. Except one, Nemo. It's a powerful moment, but here's where the theory begins. If you look it up, you'll find that barracudas don't actually eat fish eggs. They're predators, sure, but not in the way the movie shows. They go after fish, not tiny eggs stuck to coral. So, if the barracuda didn't eat the eggs, what really happened? Here's where things get dark. The theory claims that Coral, Marlin's wife, suffered a mental breakdown, possibly from the stress of laying hundreds of eggs and the fear of predators constantly lurking nearby. In that moment of confusion and panic, she ate the eggs herself. Marlin saw it happen, but it was too much for him to process, too horrifying to accept, so his mind broke. To cope with the unbearable trauma, Marlin's mind created a story. That one egg survived, that he still had something to live for, that he still had Nemo. Now let's talk about that name, Nemo. In Latin, Nemo means nobody. It's not just a name, it's a hidden clue. Marlin wasn't searching for his son across the ocean. He was searching for nobody. He was chasing a memory, a ghost that didn't exist, an illusion created by his own mind to help him survive. Think about the entire journey across the ocean. Marlin faces sharks, jellyfish, sea turtles, and even the chaos of the ocean current. But every challenge is symbolic of his fears, his guilt, and the obstacles inside his mind. Then there's Dory. Her memory problems mirror Marlin's struggle with reality and denial. She helps him move forward, but she can never remember the past. Just like Marlin is trying not to remember what really happened. And the fish tank in the dentist's office? Another metaphor. A small, controlled environment where Marlin feels he can keep Nemo safe, unlike the vast, dangerous ocean that took everything from him. Even the ending takes on a new meaning. When Marlin finally finds Nemo, he also finds acceptance, letting go of the guilt and trauma that has been haunting him since that terrible day. In reality, there is no Nemo to find. There never was. Pixar films often hide deeper messages, and if you rewatch Finding Nemo with this theory in mind, small moments feel different. Marlin's overprotectiveness isn't just caution, it's desperation. His fear of letting Nemo go isn't about the ocean, it's about losing the illusion that keeps him sane. Nemo's desire for freedom mirrors Marlin's need to accept what happened. In the end, Finding Nemo isn't just a story about a father finding his son. It's about a father finding peace after unimaginable loss, letting go of a dream that kept him alive but also kept him stuck in grief. Marlin wasn't searching for Nemo, he was searching for himself. These cartoon theories are more than dark ideas. They're mirrors reflecting the fears, grief, and secrets we try to ignore. And once you see them, you can't unsee them. Which of these theories shattered your childhood the most? Let me know in the comments. I read every single one.